Hey guys, how's it going? Well, today I wanted to talk about a pretty serious subject in some ways. Is about the manipulation of cryptocurrency and the state of the crypto market and what is happening to a lot of investors and stuff like that. Well, if you're into Bitcoin, or for people that don't know, there's a lot of different coins apart for Bitcoin that are called cryptocurrencies. There's thousands of them, where most of them are crap, but like the top 50 or top 100 coins are probably pretty legitimate, and of course there are some other ones that are legitimate too. But since we're going into a very, very big downtrend of all the crypto market, probably a lot of companies will not survive. Now, Bitcoin is just a little over $3,000, like $3,200, and people are expecting it to go lower, which is very possible because it's going to take a long time to actually recover from such a downtrend where Bitcoin was at its peak, 20K, about $20,000, and it fast went down. But yeah, so obviously there's been a lot of market manipulation. What basically happened, and it was hard to say at the beginning when it was happening, because people were all in that euphoria stage where they were making such huge gains that once crypto started going down, people didn't really accept it. They were like, oh, it's fine to retrace a little bit. It'll go back up. But then more and more as the months pass by, now we're pretty much at 10 months of a downfall of crypto, where we've basically gone from 800 billion to barely 100 billion. So that's a 700 billion retracement in the numbers. But what really happened is that once crypto got so popular and everybody started buying it, the banks and the governments were not happy about that, because all these assets and all that money that was government controlled or controlled by banks was starting to go into a place where they couldn't control it anymore, because it wasn't a crypto market. So it was inside the blockchains and the blockchain of the coins, and it would be unregulated. So the only way for them to basically take back that control was to basically make the market plummet, make it crash. And that was a big effort done by a lot of banks and governments in order to take away crypto's power that was given to the masses, so that little people like you and I and most of the world really were not able to become rich in that same way, because they made it crash. And what happened too is that there was a lot of weak hands, which are just people that FOMO'd in. They had the fear of missing out, so they all bought this cryptocurrency at its all-time high, and then as soon as it started going down in price, they basically left. So people sold, and as the market was going down, the governments and the banks bought more and more and more and more, and it's still crashing, and they're still trying to get more. And basically, I don't think it'll stop until they have enough control on it. And once they do, I kind of feel that People have been talking about ETFs, which is basically a regulation that's basically allowing Bitcoin to be an asset, and it's legalized. And usually the problem with that is that for it to be recognized, it kind of has to be stable, and crypto is not stable at the moment. But I think if they can manage to get enough control over it, they will eventually pass it. So now the ETF has been postponed a bunch of times already, I believe 3 times already, and now it's set for end of February. I forget the date, but basically once like this is the last time that they can postpone it, so it's basically gonna have to get either approved or dismissed. And I'm thinking that there is a chance that it could get approved on the condition that this downward trend has went down all the way, and that the wealthy people that wanted to take control of the cryptos, and the governments that need that control have enough of their fair share so that it can't get out of hand. The sad part is that Bitcoin is like number one, but then at the same time there's a bunch of other cryptocurrencies and their companies, and they've been at a downward trend for 10 months. So even though they may be great projects, if they don't have money to pay their employees and to stay afloat, well, they will collapse, which is kind of sad. Yeah, so it's really hard for people who have invested money to stay in this market. I would say that if people have lost 80 or 90% of their investment at this point, they shouldn't even think about selling unless it goes back up, and just count this money as it's in the market and it's there for the long run. And yeah, because if you do sell at this point, you're basically doing what the banks and what the governments are trying to do. For example, in Venezuela, they're kind of imposing the petro cryptocurrency on a bunch of people because it's just a way for them to control it, because the money over there isn't worth much. So they're thinking that by having cryptocurrency, at least it gives it some sort of value for the people, but they're forcing it on the people, which is kind of strange, and it's not worth much at this point. But I think this is basically what the future of crypto is going towards, which is it's gonna be controlled by the government, unfortunately. The governments and the countries, because they have to have that asset. They must be able to control it, and people will be given cryptocurrency little by little, and it'll be kind of imposed on us, and we'll be able to convert it for other cryptos from other countries, or maybe multiple countries will also have the same crypto, kind of like the euro. All the European Union countries have all the same currency, or most of them. So yeah, it'll be imposed, and then the banks will be able to take a little bit of a percentage on each transaction that is done on each crypto, and then probably bigger platforms like Amazon and maybe eBay and Alibaba might also start having their own cryptos. And at the same time, by doing that, they'll have more control, but they'll give you incentives of maybe 5% discount, as if it was a credit card. How, like, for example, Amazon does the 5% cash back if you use their credit card to buy stuff on Amazon. And they'll probably do the same thing, which is incentives for buying with crypto. And that'll be it, you know. But it's a very complicated subject, which probably needs multiple videos. And if you want me to talk about it more, I'm more than willing to. But that's it for now. Have a great day. Bye.